Were you ever scared you'd lose too much weight?
Yeah.
And what did you think might happen to you if you lost all that weight?
I might die, because I almost died.
When Matthew Cornwell was only 9, he started obsessing about food. And in one summer, Matthew lost 20% of his body weight.
And all my thoughts were focused on, I want to get fat from this. I'm scared and everything.
So everything you thought about was food?
Yeah.
Even though he was a boy and only in the 3rd grade, Matthew's symptoms were painfully familiar to his mother, Lori.
I had had an eating disorder 25 years ago. And so that mom's intuition was like, oh, this can't be.
Anorexia runs in the family.
I have a sister who had an eating disorder, and my mother had an eating disorder. And my 9-year-old son, that just even blew away my thoughts of what an eating disorder can be.
Do you think your son was genetically predisposed?
Yes. Yes, I do.
How so?
And that it just, because you can't choose, a child does not choose to not eat.
A couple guys that we were with, they said it was, something fun to do, and there was another girl that was with me. She's like, I heard it makes you skinny. Okay, well, let's do it.
That split-second decision changed 16-year-old Samantha Rizzo's life forever.
So, you try it. Did you have any idea what the consequences would be?
No, even if I did have some idea of what it could do to you, I didn't care. It made me skinny, and it worked.
Sam's perceptions about her own body had troubled her for years.
I was a hefty little girl, but it started when people would tease me every day about what I looked like and harass me on the internet. But then it started in my head that you're not good enough, you're not small enough yet.
Sam says for her, crystal meth, a drug that's primarily made in homegrown labs, was just another step in her battle to shed pounds. And Sam did lose weight on crystal meth. A lot of weight.
The first week that I did it, I probably lost about like 15 or 20 pounds.
In 1 week?
Yeah.
It started small. $1 here, $1 there. But it grew until it became what she calls an addiction.
When you first steal, is there a little bit of a high there?
Yeah, there is. Yeah, your heart really is going very, very fast. And for a few minutes, yeah, you get that feeling of satisfaction that you're smarter than they are.
And then what happens?
You walk out and that guilt just overtakes you. Just overtakes you.
And yet you keep stealing.
I keep stealing.
Gloria Cahill's living in a whole new world since she dropped 130 pounds, thanks to gastric bypass surgery.
You can get a close-up of that. What does it say? The size? 6.
Nowadays, Gloria relishes shopping in stores she used to avoid, like Ann Taylor Loft. And even better,
You look great.
she has something to shop for.
Talk to me about the difference in dating between when you were heavy and now.
I do.
That's the difference.
That's it. That's the big one.
But Gloria didn't have the surgery to look good. She did it to save her life. You see, her mother's death was complicated by morbid obesity.
It is not an alternative to dieting. It's an alternative to desperation. And I was very desperate the day that I had my surgery.
The physical post-surgical complications were tough, but not as tough as the emotional ones.
The invisible complications really came down to dealing with the fact that people treat me very differently as a thin woman.
What's happened since you've been thin that has surprised you?
I get a lot of compliments that I don't know what to do with.
Does it hurt you when people come up to you and say, you're a completely new person?
To say that I'm a different person discounts who I've been for 46 years.
Today, people smile at her when she walks her dogs, but only 3 years ago, in this very same park, people used to yell nasty insults about her weight.
You know, they say inside every fat person, there's a thin person waiting to get out. Well, inside this thin person, there's a fat person who remembers. Excuse me.
And it's still painful.
Yeah.
Then Thursday, a ray of hope. A boat came to rescue them, 4 babies at a time.
Now picture it's raining. We've got these little babies out in the open. They're already cold. The rain's getting on them, they're getting wet.
And could they die?
Yes, most definitely.
The boat pulled up to one hospital, but was turned away, so they motored to another.
There were about 7 or 8 men with guns yelling at us, telling us to get out of there and go back.
One of the other nurses shouted back.
She said, I hope y'all burn in hell for this. That was your baby. You wouldn't want your baby to be left behind either.
Seeing no alternative, they went back to University Hospital. Cheryl fell apart and called her friend using the one cell phone that worked.
A voice I'll never forget as long as I live.
I said, we're going to die here. They're going to leave us here. We're never going to get out of here. They tried to take us, and we got turned away by gunpoint. I was hysterical. I was frantic.
But Joni had finally found someone willing to listen. John Mattasino, the head of the Louisiana Hospital Association. And Cheryl made a frantic call to him.
She was screaming, crying. I could barely understand what she was saying. She said, I need help, and I need somebody to come help us. I need somebody to come help us with these babies.
The next day, Friday, the help finally arrived.
The whole weight of our world was just lifted off of our shoulders. As we were flying through the air, I mean, the sense of relief, knowing that this was actually getting done finally. I don't think there was any more anger left.
For the parents, it was pure joy to see their babies again. Keisha Williams and Terrence Harris say that Cheryl and the rest of the staff are true heroes.
Thank you, university nurses and doctors.
Cheryl doesn't see it that way.
I wouldn't say I'm a hero. I would say I was just doing what I thought needed to be done in a time of need.